Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. Today I'm going to be reading the second chapter of Animorphs, number 12, The Reaction by K.A. Applegate. Yeah, so, it's that time of the year again. It's the special time of the year where it's the only time of the year this thing really becomes relevant. And I'm, of course, talking about the Folgers incest commercial. And I've started getting this stupid jingle stuck in my head of the best part of waking up is incest in your cup. It just, and I'm also always amazed when people have never seen it. It is truly iconic. Now, the commercial must not have been intended to imply incest, and the basic setup is this brother's returning home from West Africa, and his sister's there to greet him. And they do not act like siblings. There's definitely an undertone of romance there. It's amazing to behold. And of course, after I watched the original commercial, I watched the parody. It's just classic. If you have never seen it, I would highly recommend it because it is unintentional hilarity. And for those of you who, as I'm aiming these videos for adults who are discovering or rediscovering Animorphs, I'm just assuming everyone's above 18, so but if you're not beyond reading some erotica, there's actually a few fics on Archive of Our Own about that. It's wow. Just like it's one of those things where you're like, who okayed this? Did no one look at what was actually going on and said, hey, maybe we should do something different? But I wasn't the one there to I was not involved in that process at all. But anyways, let's actually hang on, let me check the AC unit. Okay, it is 70 degrees. Good. I don't know, it feels a little hotter here. So let's continue with, why you actually tuned into this video. Okay. Here's chapter 2 of Animorphs, number 12, The Reaction by K.A. Applegate. Field trip. Two of the best words in the English language. Our class was going to the zoo at the gardens. Sure, I'd been there before. And yes, Cassie's mom was head veterinarian, so I could get in any time I wanted. But who cared? Any field trip was better than sitting at a desk zoning out at a blackboard, right? I mean, when I was younger, we went on a field trip to a factory that made bread and Twinkies. They didn't even give us any Twinkies. But did I care? No. Because being out, moving around, seeing new stuff is always better than hard desk chairs. Cassie didn't agree. My mom's going to give a little presentation on endangered species, Cassie said as we sauntered along with the rest of the class. A presentation to us. We were in a big enclosed exhibit area. It was like a huge glass dome over all these different habitats. We were walking along at a slight downhill angle on a winding pathway between leopards and tortoises and Komodo dragons and pythons. all the animals that couldn't be exposed to cold weather. I was enjoying myself, sipping a Mountain Dew through a straw and checking out the occasional good looking guy. Why do they even have a python exhibit? I asked Cassie. All they ever do is lie there. That snake might as well be fake. He could be plastic. Now leopards, sure, they move around. They give you dirty looks. But pythons? She thinks she has to be entertaining, Cassie said, still worried about her mother's presentation. It's dangerous when mom tries to be entertaining. See, she'll think she has to be cool and all. She'll start talking about the fudgies, or Snoopy Dickety Dog, or Boys Loving Men, or Nice is Neat. I laughed out loud, practically spraying Mountain Dew from my nose. Okay, okay. The Fudgies, Snoop Doggy Dog, and Boys to Men, I get. But what's nice is neat. Cassie looked guilty. Uh, NIN, you know, 9 Inch Nails. I wanted to get the new CD, but I was broke. So I told my mom NIN stood for Nice is Neat. I grabbed Cassie's arm and turned her around. No way! You? That sounds like something Marco would have thought up. Cassie quickly looked down at the ground. Then she started laughing. Okay, it was Marco's idea. He said, "What parent can what parent can possibly resist a rock group named Nice is Neat?" See, Marco wanted me to get the CD so he could make a tape. Anyway, it worked. Cassie. When you start taking advice from Marco, the end of civilization is very near. Besides, you and 9 Inch Nails? Do you even like the band? Cassie made a face. Actually, they're a little depressed and grim and harsh for me. Although it would be perfect for my mood today. Cassie shook her head, worried again. I know she's going to bring it up. She's going to say something like, saving endangered species is cool, like listening to Nice is neat. I'll have to change schools. I'll have to move to another town. She grabbed my Mountain Dew and took a swig. Why, Rachel? Why, of all the places we could go on a field trip, why do we have to come to my mom's work? We leaned against the railing above the crocodile pit. About half the class had wandered on ahead. About half were still behind us. And now we were mixed in with a class of yammering, noisy kindergartners, all wearing name tags. I don't know, I said to Cassie. Just your bad luck. Right in front of me, not 10 feet away, some dumb little boy was climbing up on the railing. Hey, get down off there, you! Suddenly, he was gone, over the edge, into the crocodile pit. And that's where we're ending the chapter today. Child endangerment. I know. God. I'm just okay. For a moment, I was like, "Oh, it's not showing me how long this video's been going on." And I'm like, "Oh, right up there. There we go." But anyways, yeah, that's where we're ending the reading today with child endangerment. Oh my God, is the child going to survive? Is he not? What's Rachel going to do? And okay, hang on. Of course, the favorite thing about reading this chapter, hands down, I finally get to tell everyone about Nice is Neat. It's like I don't like I didn't want to really spoil what Nice is Neat is about, like why that's such a funny joke among the Animorphs fandom. Plus I don't think you'd really get it if you didn't know the context. But I sometimes say Nice is Neat around the house, and I have to like tell Rev Resner every time what the heck I'm talking about. Oh, and there's a little mourning dove nomming in the nom noms on the bird feeder. They're really tough birds. Would not want to pick a fight with one of those. Anyways, about Nice is Neat. Now, it does seem like Cassie really likes 9-inch nails. And, when I was doing the reading, I really emphasized that, that reading of the text. Yeah, that sounds way too academic for this. But my opinion is that, she's really likes 9-inch nails, but she also doesn't want anyone to know. She doesn't want anyone to think that about her. And so now it's like, oh yeah, I did this all because of Marco. Yeah, Marco. Yeah, I had to do it for Marco. Yada yada yada. But and there are people who like I was talking one person like years and years ago where they're like, oh, I really love Britney Spears, but they would never admit it. And like when I admitted like later that evening to our group of friends that, hey, I like Britney Spears, and they're like just laughing at that friend like just does not, you know, doesn't like, no, of course I don't like it. I'm like, usually the thing is when I say like I'm really embarrassed by it, that is I've like admitted a bunch of guilty pleasures, but yeah, I think so. In my head canon, I guess, and how I read the text is that she likes 9-inch nails, but she doesn't want people finding out. I mean, she goes from, oh yeah, no, I don't really like them. They're too depressing. To, yeah, I could listen to them today. And like it would really fit my mood. And she's a child soldier. I think there's like more than one time when she's going to be in the down, gloomy sort of mood to listen to 9-inch nails. And 9-inch nails made the original song of Herd, which was covered by, I swear I knew the guy's name like a second ago, but his cover like is what most people think of when they think the song, and it's like, oh yeah, it was actually all just done by 9-inch nails, but they were really impressed by the guys. So they're like, yeah, go ahead. So yeah, so I see that as a song she would definitely be, God, I was about to give out major spoilers there, but I see that as a song she would definitely be listening to as the war continues. So my question for today's video is, do you think Cassie really loves 9-inch nails and just considers it her dirty little secret? comment down below, tell me what you think. Also, feel free to comment below with anything else you thought about this chapter. But remember, no major spoilers. I am hoping against hope that, adults discover or rediscover the joys that is Animorphs. So there are some big spoilers that, if you're reading it for the first time, you definitely should find out on your own, because some of these things are really shocking. Also, remember to subscribe. I will be reading all of Animorphs number 12 and the rest of, the Animorphs series. So, yeah, you don't want to miss a thing here. And, like this video, and if for those of you who are here at the start, like if you have seen, the Folgers incest commercial, it's infamous, really. And if you watch this video and you're like, oh hey, I would really like to own my very own copy of Animorphs number 12, The Reaction by K.A. Applegate, link is down below. Now that link is an Amazon Associates link, so I get a little bit. I can't reveal how much I'll get for every person who buys. But, more importantly, K.A. Applegate gets, the royalties. I just get a little bit saying, oh, good job for, advertising. So, yeah. Also, if you would like to talk to me outside of YouTube, I have a Twitter. If you're watching this on the YouTube, oh, I forgot for the buy the book link. That's down below if you're watching on YouTube, Patreon, or my blog. Now, the Twitter, I'm at Jashikins on Twitter, and that Twitter link is, if you're on the YouTube, link down below, that I will discuss all things Animorphs with you. Just be aware that on YouTube, for this dramatic reading series, I have a no major spoilers thing. But if you talk to me on Twitter, I don't. So if you don't want to be spoiled on Twitter, you have to tell me, don't spoil these things, maybe even mention how far along in the series you are. I also have a Patreon. And Patreon helps me keep on doing whatever the heck this is, filming videos, writing blogs, getting books out. So, if you're a longtime fan and you're like, hey, I would like to know how I could, help out financially and help support this channel. If you're watching on the YouTubes, link down below. And if you're watching on my blog day blog, link is like somewhere over there. I don't. And yeah. And I also have an original series. It's Grim Grimdark Superhero Reverse Harem series. It's slow burning. It's Kafka's Men. I'm releasing the books on Amazon. I am currently working on the 5th book, and last night I finally got to starting the 3rd chapter, and each book has 4 chapters, so yay! And it's definitely an interesting book in the series, as we finally shift the point of view from Kafka to Blaine Rue, who is Kafka's only real love interest at this moment. I guess you could also say another character is, but the one she's actively in a relationship with. Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, he's complicated character, more on the dark side, so at some points I'm like, Ugh, God. And I have to be aware to write him realistically, very relatively speaking. I have to go into these parts of me, but then at the same time, I can't have him too dark that the audience, the readers, won't think sympathize with him, won't want Kafka to get with him by the end. So lovely times. And if you're watching on the YouTubes, link is down below. And if all of them are on Kindle Unlimited, and if you have a Kindle but not Kindle Unlimited, all of them are 99 cents each. I also have a paperback versions for each if you don't like Kindle for one reason or another. And that's it. I hope you all have a great weekend. Tomorrow, I am going to be going to see Pray for the Devil. I would have seen it last week, but my grandma was hospitalized, and so I decided to go down and visit her. But don't worry, she's doing better. She's in rehab right now. She had a stroke, and so, she has working with a speech therapist. So I was seeing that last week, but hey, at least I can see it this week. And again, hope you're doing well. Hope you had a very safe Halloween. And until next video, goodbye.